this week, more than any other week of the year, we must, as Christians, confront the troubling reality that we are all sinners. Today is the only Sunday of the year where we read the gospel passage as if it were a play. And the role that was read by all of you, the crowd, doesn't come off looking very good, does it? Or should I say, we don't come off looking very good. I say we because while Father and I didn't say those lines, the reason it was read by the congregation is because these lines are for all of us, including Father and I. And we are all given these lines for a reason. We have to grapple with the reality that every time we sin, we are crying out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" And it pains our heart to think about it. And with good reason. But it is the truth, and therefore this week we must grapple with this difficult truth. I think it's important to remember that even though this sort of reflection is the right thing to do, that we should be spending time reflecting on our sins, it is not the only way we could react to our own sins. And in fact, I would argue that there's 3 categories of ways we could react to our own sins. The first is to pretend that there is no such thing as sin, or at the very least, what we're doing is not sin. Now, this is very popular in our postmodern society. We like to deny the harm that many of our actions cause. We let our temptations run wild and then pretend that we are not to blame for the ills in our own lives and those around us, and the ones that are the result of our own actions. But I think we need to be careful before we are too judgmental of the many people in our society who think this way. Because this sort of thinking is a reaction to the opposite extreme, one that we as a society have decided we can no longer stomach. In other areas, in other places, people have reacted to sin a second and very different way. They choose to permanently condemn those who cross certain lines, who've sinned at a level greater than society is willing to tolerate. And we still have vestiges of this today. If you think in your own communities and your own places, there is some person, some group, who must never be tolerated, who must never be accepted, who must never be welcomed back, no matter how much they apologize, how much they try to reform, how much they desire to change. I suspect that without the revelation of God, all societies would ping-pong between these 2 extremes, either ignoring sin or harshly condemning permanently those who do. But Jesus shows us there is a third option: redemption. We can be redeemed from our sin. We need not ignore it because we can be redeemed from it. We need not write anyone off because we can offer them the same thing that Christ offers us: forgiveness. And this is what we must grapple with this week. We must sit with the harsh reality of the effects of our sins. But we must do it in a way that we remember that we are not doing it to permanently condemn ourselves, but instead we are doing it with the sure hope of redemption.